So our second ed puzzle this week, our second lesson for this week, we're going to be talking about writing linear equations from 2 points. And in the last ed puzzle, we talked about, get this thing turned on, the standard form of a linear equation, right, which was ax plus by equals c, where a had to be greater than or equal to, a has to be greater than or equal to 1. And then we talked about slope-intercept form, which you guys all know really well. Whenever I talk to anyone about equations, you all jump in with the formula y equals mx plus b. And what we know about that is m is our slope, and b is our y-intercept, hence the name slope-intercept. It has an intercept and it has a slope. What we're going to talk about is how to write an equation just from 2 points. It could be any 2 points within a line, and we can write an equation for that line. Now, for me, I like to get it to slope-intercept form. I find it to be the most useful form. So I'm going to show you how to go from 2 points, any 2 given points, all the way down to slope-intercept form and any form in between, right? I'm not going to really talk about putting it into standard form because normally I'm trying to get it out of standard form to make it something that I can use, right? Especially in terms of graphing. So the equations, the formulas that we're going to be adding to our little mix are m, or the slope, right? Right? Which is m equals, and I know you guys have seen this before, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, when I'm given any 2 points, say I have the points -6, 1, and -3, 7. Now, these are 2 points on a line, and I want to find the slope between these 2 points. I just have to call one of these x1, y1, and the other one x2, y2. It doesn't matter which set of points I call 1 or which set of points that I call 2, as long as that my x1 and y1 are together within the same coordinate set, and my x2 and y2 are together in the same coordinate set. Then I can just fill in the blanks. Well, I've got y2 minus y1. Well, that's 7 minus 1 over x2 minus x1. So that's -3 minus -6. I always put those 2 minuses together to remind myself that they are a plus, right? If I have 2 negatives together, they become a positive. And so I'm going to have a slope of 6 over -3 plus 6, which is 3. We can reduce this fraction. 6 divided by 3 is just 2. So the slope of these 2 numbers is 2. I'm going to keep that there, and I'm going to keep using this as we go along. So if I'm given 2 points and I want to find the equation of the line, the first thing that I want to do is find the slope of those 2 points. The next thing that we would want to do is use what we call the point slope formula. Now, math is not a mystery in a lot of ways, in that we don't know how to name anything original. So if I have something called the point slope formula, it means it will involve a point and a slope. The same way that, the slope intercept formula has a slope and a y-intercept, right? They are named for exactly what they're going to give you or what you need. Now, the point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m, which is our slope, times quantity x minus x1. And that looks like a lot of numbers and a lot of crazy stuff. But if you notice up here, I already have an x1, y1. And right here, I have a slope. So I can just plug those numbers in. Now, it doesn't matter which of those 2 points I take, but I called that one x1, y1, so I'm going to go with that one. And I can just plug these numbers right in to this formula, right? So I'm going to go, let's change colors again. I like to change colors every time I do something different. If I go y minus y1, well, my y1 is just 1, equals m. My m just happens to be 2, times the quantity x minus x1. Well, x1 is minus 6, so I'm going to double that minus there. And I'm just going to go ahead and solve this equation now. So let's go. We've got y minus y1. We're going to leave that there for right now. This is technically like saying plus, right? That becomes a plus. So I'm going to go 2 times x, right? I got to distribute this. 2 times x gives me 2x. And then 2 times positive 6, because that becomes a positive 6, is just 12. And now all we have left to do is to add 1 to both sides to get what y equals. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add 1. And I'm going to have y equals 2x plus 13. This is what we were asking for, right? We just wrote the equation of a line from 2 points. And so I want to go over that a little bit with you, and we'll do one more example. But what I want you to see is that it follows a pattern, right? If I'm given 2 points, the first thing I want to do, find the slope, right? The next thing I want to do is plug it into the point slope formula. Right? Which we know to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? 3, solve for y. Solving for y automatically puts it into slope-intercept form, right? Those are our 3 steps. We just find the slope, then we plug the slope and a point into the point slope formula, and when we solve it for y, we are in slope-intercept form, right? We can do that over and over again. Let's put the slope formula up here. We've got m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to take you through that one more time. And that should make for a nice short ed puzzle for you guys this time. So let's take this and we'll do one more example, and then I will let you go. We are going to write the equation of a line using, let's say, right, the equation of a line given -8, -3, and -2, -3. in slope-intercept form. My handwriting's getting really bad. It's the end of the day. I've been writing a lot today. Right? So we want that to be what? Y equals mx plus b form. So we're going to work our way through the steps. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to find the slope of this equation. Right? We're going to go, okay, we know that it is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're just going to we'll call this one x1, y1, and this one x2, y2. And then we're just going to plug it in, right? So our y2 is -3 minus, another -3. This one will be interesting. And then we have -2 minus a -8. So think about this. When I go to solve this, this becomes plus, negative, right? Becomes a positive. So -3 plus 3 is 0. -2 plus 8 is 6. So we have a slope of 0 on this problem. I wish I hadn't chosen this one because it's going to kind of mess things up a little bit, but not really. Because when we plug things in, it's still going to work out the same way, right? So now our next step would be to put in the point slope formula. I'm just going to call it PS form, right? Point slope formula. So we've got our y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? And when I plug that in, it doesn't matter that I've got a 0 slope, right? That just means my m is going to be 0. So I'm going to use these points because I already labeled them x1, y1. I'm going to go y minus -3 equals m, well, m is just 0, x minus a -8, right? And when we look at this, this becomes y plus 3 equals 0 times x plus 8. But anything times 0 is just 0, right? Yet I'm still not done solving this equation. I still have to finish solving for y. And the only thing left on it is this +3. So I'm just going to subtract 3 from both sides. And I get y equals -3. There is nothing wrong with this solution. This is still an equation written in slope-intercept form. The only thing is we have just an intercept because our slope is 0. And if I was going to graph this equation, and I mentioned this a little bit in the other Edpuzzle, right? If I was going to graph this equation, it would look like, let's see, boom, 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 boom. When I have anything that's just y equals and it gives me a number, it's basically a horizontal line right through there. Oh, it didn't even change colors for me. I'm a little disappointed in that. Let's do it like this. Right through -3, it would be a line like that. That would be the graph of y equals -3. There's nothing wrong with this as an equation. This is a completely legitimate equation. And you got another good example right up above, so I'm not going to worry too much about the fact that that one didn't work out into an actual XB form, but it did. The only difference is in this case, our M is 0, right? So our X disappears. There's also going to be forms where our Y winds up being 0, and we wind up with an equation that's just X equals something, and that works out too, but that one has an undefined slope, and we'll talk about that a little later. But you're definitely going to have problems dealing with converting 2 points into the equation of a line. It'll probably be the entirety of your assignment. I might throw in a word problem or two just to make you sweat. But let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help. I hope you have a good day, and bye.